Hi, I'm Lisa Evers, host of Street Soldiers. I am so glad you could join us for this episode. We have a very important topic for you. And don't forget, you can stay on top of what's happening by going to hot97.com. You can sign up and get an email blast, get a text message. Hit us up at 75759 from your cell phone. We'll send you alerts Saturday and Sunday morning to remind you to tune into the show and also let you know in advance what the topics are. And also don't forget to join my Twitter network, twitter.com. Type in my name, Lisa Evers, and I'll keep you informed not just about what's happening here on Hot 97, but also what happens throughout the week as I go about the streets, doing my duties as a reporter for Fox 5 News, and let you know what's happening. Now, in this episode, we have a very important topic that is of vital interest to our communities, especially in these times now when many people are struggling economically. If you have been to prison, you've come out of prison, you are having trouble finding a job, maybe you have had a substance abuse problem in the past. Maybe you've been in trouble in other areas or faced other challenges in your life like homelessness. Trying to get on your feet now or trying to turn your life around and keep it moving in a positive direction has never been harder. That's the downside. The upside is that there are people, there are organizations, and you're going to hear from them in this hour who can help you make those moves, who can inspire you and give you practical information and practical knowledge so that you don't have to fall back into that pattern, that negative pattern of committing crimes, going back through the system and being a burden on society and our communities instead of contributing and being a positive role model for others and a positive force in your own neighborhood and in your own family and among your circle of friends. And let's not forget as well that what we do as adults, the children are looking at us, the teenagers are looking at us. They're watching our every move. We can say one thing, but if we're doing something different, they're going to follow what they see the adults doing. So with this in mind, we have a fantastic panel here today to talk about this, what you can do to turn your life around and keep it moving in that positive direction. There's been a tour going on throughout the month of October. It's just one effort of a larger effort that Ryan Mack has been doing for quite some time. He calls it the Optimum Economic Empowerment Resource Rally. That's one of the events that they had just had. And he's also been on tour throughout our communities, throughout the prisons, trying to empower people. Now, Ryan himself, he's the founder and CEO of Optimum Capital Management. He's a Wall Street success story. Now he has his own firm. And this whole effort he's calling the Optimum Fight Against Recidivism. Ryan, thanks for coming back.
Thank you for having me out.
We appreciate it. Also with us is Norma Fernandez. She works for an organization, a program called Com Alert out of the prosecutor's office, out of Brooklyn, DA Charlie Hines' office in Brooklyn. They help people who have come out of the system. We're going to find out all about that. Norma, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm glad to be here.
We appreciate it. Also with us is Manyell Akinfe. She's with business development with Optimum Capital Management. She set up this tour through the prisons, through the housing projects, all throughout our communities that Ryan and his people went through. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, Lisa.
And also, Darnell Canada is with us. He's with Rebuild. He helps people who are facing life challenges get trained and actually get jobs. So, Darnell, thank you very much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, Ryan Mack, what made you come up with this whole idea for this fight against recidivism?
Well, it seemed as if aggressive action was something that the community had not been in practice of lately. And we were quite tired of seeing the apathy around the community. A lot of times we'll see problems going on. We'll see homelessness. We'll see high incarceration rates, and the list goes on. And in this down economy, this is a recession. A lot of individuals are feeling a depression. It's time for individuals to start stepping up and taking aggressive action, to not just yell at our television screens, not just picket or rally, but let's just roll up our sleeves and get into the trenches to start figuring out how we can fight against these things that ail our society. And one of these things is recidivism, individuals who are going back to prison, high incarceration rates, individuals not being provided with opportunity or giving assistance when they do come home from prison. And so for the past 2 years, we've been working with organizations like Com Alert, working with those who are coming home from prison. And we wanted to kind of expand upon that, but we are financial planners, so we decided to kind of concentrate and dedicate an entire month to really just fighting against through juvenile detention centers, going into working with gang members, working working with those in rehabilitation centers, working with those in correctional facilities every single week, and just teaching and trying to spread the important message of financial empowerment.
All right, now you look at this problem, and you've dealt with resources. You began your career, and you've been on our show previously talking about personal finances and how people could get control of their money and basically their destiny.
Right.
But now it seems as if you're looking at people in our community as if they are the actual resources. These human resources are going to waste.
Right. Well, the bottom line is that sometimes we have to understand that none of us is as strong as all of us. And the things, many of us go around and looking for different resources of what we can try to obtain, but we fail to look within ourselves for that necessary resource, which is the most important resource. That spirit and the will within inside of you is the one thing that we should be relying upon each other to look towards, to help to understand that our blessings are not for ourselves, but to try to outstand a hand to somebody else to make sure that other people can grow. And I always tell the folks in every stop that we did that we are here and pretty much selfishly because our success is linked. If you come out and when you come home and you become more successful and realize your purpose on this earth and become successful, then we will benefit from that. And you being successful, we have to contribute to that, because if you become more successful, then the entire community becomes more successful. And we have to understand that, again, our successes are linked to one another.
Now, also, when you look at, you went into juvenile detention centers, and we've seen a rash of crimes and crime sprees where there have been these 10, 11, and 12-year-old kids that have been influenced by older people that have been through the system that are basically having them do their dirty work so that they get, if they get caught, they are only under the juvenile detention law, the juvenile laws. When you see this happening with young kids, what goes through your mind and your heart?
I mean, again, sometimes individuals only act according to what they know. And it's far too frequently individuals who, my mother, when I was 9 years old, my mother took me to college and Bowling Green University and said, this is what you're going to do one day. So that imprinted in my head a vision of what I needed to do. And sometimes it's just as simple as that. When you're talking about financial literacy, you're talking about health concerns, you're talking about social responsibility, all of these things are linked to maybe just someone just saying, let me take a time to just reach out to at least one person and show them something that they might not know. And, I tell them all the time again that one day you will be on the other side of the table teaching me about something when you empower yourself. And again, that's how the community grows. I can't know everything by myself, but I can assist you to help learn something that I do know, and you can do the same to me, and we become better together.
And then the recidivism rates, when you look at just the incarceration rates overall across the United States, the number of African American men, it's a staggering number. It's a very upsetting number in terms of the percentage of the population. Is it the same with recidivism too?
Yeah, it's 2.7 million individuals incarcerated now. There will be, in 3 years, about 63% of those will be returning to prison. And this is something that can be avoided. A lot of individuals, when they come out, they'll say, well, I don't have any opportunity. I don't have a chance. We can't help individuals provide them a chance and actually help them help themselves, which is the most important component of it. And that's what the tour is all about. It's just true empowerment. It's almost like to teach them how to fish, or the Agape Empowerment Initiative as well.
All right. And Norma Fernandez, you work out of the Brooklyn DA's office. We usually think of the district attorney. They're the prosecutors are the ones that put people behind bars. So why are you all so concerned about what happens to people after they come home?
Because it's a public safety concern. If we have services once they're being released from prison, and if there are no supportive individuals to provide them with ancillary services such as vocational training, employment services, housing, allocating proper identification, 9 out of 10 they're going to go revert right back to the streets and do what they know best, and that's to commit crimes. And when you commit crime, it creates victims. So D.A. Hines figured that, let me create a program that will have supportive services when individuals return back into the community so that they don't recidivate and go back upstate.
So what kind of services do you offer with this Brooklyn DA program, this Com Alert?
We offer transitional housing. We offer educational service through Medgar Evers College. We also offer transitional employment. We work very closely with Ready, Willing, and Able, which is the Doe Fund. We also work with Counseling Services of Eastern District of New York. That's who provides our outpatient services on site.